Hey buddy, Sarah here. So it is the 16th of June. Um, really hasn't been much going on. Hang on, two things I'll talk about. Um, let's start with the not so good news. Being, yeah, England lost 4-0 to Hungary the other day. I mean, over the past week they haven't won any games. They drew two and lost two. I think the two they lost were Hungary. Um, But yeah, it was like 4-0 the other day. And I think I've seen people saying sack Gareth Southgate and um, get rid of not get rid of Harry Kane, but give somebody else the captain's job. And alright, I'm not the biggest of football fans. I'm not like somebody that will. I don't know all the ins and outs of football, if you know what I mean. I like to watch the games if they're on telly, like the Premiership games, Tottenham in particular. And obviously, if it's an England game on telly, I'll watch that. And when I say on telly, I mean like not on Sky because I haven't got sports channels. But if it's on like um, free channels, then I'll be watching it. But like I said, I don't know the ins and outs of football and all that. But and I know I've actually watched a couple of videos, and people have been saying give England a chance. When was the last time England got to a semi-final or even a final of a big tournament? Um, I mean, I'm not sure before, like recently. I'm not sure when the last time they'd done that was, if ever, but besides 1966. Um, and how did they manage to get there? Gareth Southgate. So, and he's been in their position as well. So yeah, you know, I think they said if they do horribly in the Six Nations, I'm getting sport now. In the World Cup, if they do terribly in that, sack him then. That's what somebody said. But like, give him a chance now. Teams have like, I say downtime. That sounds like time off. They have like their off days and all that. Um, and then Harry Kane. I mean, okay, I'm biased about Harry Kane, but he is doing his best. He's the one. The one point, the one goal he did get was down to Harry Kane. Yeah, so keep him as captain. Um, and I know I'm not the only one that said, well, thinking it because the video I watched after the actual game. They said it as well was the players are fatigued, they're exhausted. There was um all the games they've played in the Premiership. I think it was like extra ones as well because of the delays. Not delays, like when games were postponed. So it wasn't extra games, but it was more where they would have had breaks. They couldn't because there was those postponed games. And what was the other thing? And like they were saying that the different things. Obviously, there was the Champions League. There's obviously the Premier League, the Carabao Cup. I think was the other one. Surely mentioned the other one. I can't remember what the other one was. Um, yeah. So all these things. Um, and then how long after the Premiership season finished was these England games on? And what did somebody just call this? Unite. What's called the United Nations? The what's it called? The Nations League. Somebody actually called it a Mickey Mouse tournament, and I was like, I'd never. I don't know how long it's been going on, if it's new this year or whatever, but I had never heard of it until like this year. Um, I didn't realise it was actual tournament. I just thought it was like a few games to play leading up to the World Cup. But all right, yeah, it's not. Um, yeah, so I'm I'm just gonna find it so funny if when's the next game? September? I think the next uh, Nations League games is September. And they got 2 games in that. They win those, and then it gets to the World Cup, and people will be like, we don't have to worry so much about England. And then gets to the World Cup, they're thinking that, and then England will get through the group stages. They'll get through the last 16, the quarterfinals, semi-finals, win the final. And I'm thinking, I can just imagine now looking back on this video at the end of the year. If England win, touch wood, when England win, yeah, and I'll be looking back at this and I'll be like, see, I told you so. Yeah, so yeah, there's that. I don't think there was anything else about the football. Yeah, so like I say, um, stick by Gareth Southgate, stick by Harry Kane, and all the other players, because that's what I'm doing. And everybody else should, if you're England fans. Oh yeah, and Wales qualifying for the World Cup. I watched the game. Well, I watched most of it, and then as it got close to the end, I think my mum rang, and I was like, "Oh, typical!" And I missed the last bit, so like when everybody's like cheering that Wales actually qualified, but I did watch the game, and I was like, "I'm so glad they qualified." And then they showed the table, the group that they'd be in, and I was like, "Okay, I completely forgot that they would end up in England's group." So I'm hoping. Well, is it like the top 2 that go through? So if England are top, Wales second, they go through. That's what I'm hoping. I know there's probably people out there saying it'd be Wales top and England second. But yeah. So I am happy about that. And yeah, the other thing I was going to talk about is there's been more filming of Doctor Who in Bristol. It's not really any spoilers. There was one video that is going around with a bit of dialogue, and I mean, I don't know why I say that. I was kind of worried, but I mean, because it's not 10, it's I don't even know what we call him, David's Doctor in this, because he's not quite 10, but I'm not sure what he is. But he, the clip that they showed, oh yeah, because I'm not sure like what Doctor he actually is. I was like, he's got different costume. What is he? Is he gonna have his Ten's accent? His English accent. And this footage, I mean, it's footage. You don't really see much of them, but you hear them talking, like Donna and Doctor. I was gonna say Donna and David, Catherine and David. That's what I mean. Yeah, when you hear them, and I'm not going to say what was said because that might be a spoiler. Actually, I'll say what a bit of what David said, because that's not really a spoiler, but you hear them go, "Oh yes." I mean, just saying "oh yes," just think of David Tennant as a doctor going "oh yes," yeah, you'll know how that sounds. Um, and it was the English accent, which, I mean, when I first started watching Doctor Who, I didn't realise David Tennant was Scottish. So watching, and I think I seen Casanova as well before I actually realised he was Scottish, and he was English accent in that as well. Yeah, so when I was watching, when I first watched him, and obviously I was like, oh, I love him with that accent. Obviously, then I realised he was Scottish. Obviously, I love a Scottish accent, but it's just something about that English accent for the Doctor. Yeah. So, oh, I'm not even gonna try. I mean, somebody tried said it, and I would describe it as his the Churchill dog um voice, and I was like, it kind of does sound like that, but not quite. Um, yeah. Anyway, I will see you in my next video. Yeah. See you then. Bye.